Hello and welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm very excited. It's been a long time coming. I should have been doing this for years, but I haven't been. So I'm starting now. So for those of you who don't know, I am Andrew Keeler. I am the Honest Life Coach. This channel is going to be my musings, my ramblings. I'm going to pick a topic and I will just flow. Some episodes will be 10 minutes, some will be 20, some might end up being 45 minutes to an hour. I have no idea. But I am going to cover a lot of different topics: emotional regulation, logical processing, what I do within my business, the way that I have coached my clients over my career. I'll cover relationships, careers, finance, lots and lots of different things. But I will be talking about each of those things in a manner that is relevant to identity, in a manner that is relevant to mental health to a degree. But identity is kind of my wheelhouse. That is, for me, the most integral thing for all of us as individuals and on a societal level to learn, to understand, because it makes such a profound difference to just the quality of your life, not only your mental health, but everything about you, your energy, the way that you are, the way that people that are around you will feel when they're near you. It's so important. So I thought the first video would kind of make sense if I just give you a little bit of background on me, because some of you will be here from Instagram. If you do want to find me on Instagram, you can find me at The Honest Life Coach. But for those of you who are here native to YouTube, first of all, hello. If you do like what I talk about after you've watched a couple of videos, if you want to subscribe, that would be incredibly, incredibly appreciated. If you don't, then whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to go into a little bit of me, where I've come from, what I've done in my life, and what's brought me to this point. And I will try and keep it short. I think the most important part of my journey to start from, this is a story that I've never told in any kind of social media content, but life kind of restarted for me at 28. I started my divorce proceedings in the May of 2014. I was leaving a 5-year marriage, an 8-year relationship, 3 children. At the time, 6, 2, and a baby. And life got very, very strange at that point. There was a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles, etc. But I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to go into massive, deep detail about it all. But from that point, I moved out of the family home. I was the one that catalyzed the divorce. I was the one that started that proceeding. I was the one that wanted it. So I moved out, and I moved into my own place after a short stay with a good friend, Dean, who was gracious enough to give me somewhere to live whilst I waited to find somewhere that was suitable for me and my children. That's something that I will be forever grateful to Dean for, which is something that I've told him many times over the years. But yeah, so I finally, in the October of 2014, moved into this small but nice 2-bed apartment. I had my children half the week, so we were almost 50-50 right from the word go. After the divorce finished, which took 3 years, that was great fun. Do not recommend. We then went straight into a custody battle, which was also bueno. Really enjoyed that as well. That lasted from the start of the year all the way to, that was either the end of September, so it was like 9 months, or it was the end of October. I think it might be the end of October, so 9 to 10 months. And that was when everything became completely 50-50 with me and the ex-wife as far as the children. 2 sons and a daughter. And during that time process, during the divorce, during the custody proceedings, I was in the process of trying to grow my business. I was a fitness coach at the time. I started fitness coaching way back at the back end of 2004, qualified when I was 18, started what I feel properly in the January of 2005. I was a fitness coach all the way up until March of 2022. However, in at the start of 2014, I started life coaching at that point. Um, I didn't charge for the service at that point because I just felt I've got a piece of paper, I've got a qualification that says that I can do it, but I haven't done it yet. So I felt disingenuous charging for a service that I had no experience in, regardless of whether I had a piece of paper that said that I could do it or not. Now, at that point, I had been coaching for 9 years. So I had a lot of experience of coaching people, but I didn't have experience directly with life coaching, which is why I didn't charge for it. And I maintained that all the way up until 2018. So I did it for 4 years before I got to the point where I felt I was like, no, this is legitimate enough that I can now actually start charging for it as its own service. And I kept it like that, relatively low fee, until the March of 2022, when I was 8 years into my career as a life coach, so to speak. And at that point, I stopped the fitness coaching in its entirety, went whole hog with life coaching, and that has been what I've been doing that brings me up to where we are now. And it was around about March 2022 when life really started to take off, so to speak. The year prior, I met my now partner, Beth, who is without doubt one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me. She's yeah, inexplicable. I don't have words. I've not yet found the words to either describe her to other people or to articulate to her what she means to me. But she's just amazing. She has made life so rich. She and I met in the August of 2021. Um, so we're coming up on our 4-year anniversary now. And then September of 2022, I finally moved out of the apartment. So me and the kids were in that apartment for a long time. When we first moved in, it really wasn't that bad because it wasn't big, but it wasn't small. The boys were little. Penelope was a baby, so she was in my bedroom with me. The boys shared a bedroom, and it was fine. But then as time went on, I was trying to find somewhere to move to, and there was just nowhere that was suitable. Um, and then eventually, this house became available. I was doing what I always did, and I was just about to leave the apartment to go and collect the kids from my darling ex-wife. And I just thought, oh, I'll check again. This had literally been like 3 years, 3 years of consistent trying to find somewhere. And I searched, and then this house came up, and I was like, oh my God, amazing. 4-bed, detached, beautiful house, beautiful outside, beautiful inside. Um, Emailed the agent immediately, and then went and picked the kids up. And then when I was on the way back, I remembered the name of the agent, and the name of the agent was in the village that the house was in, which is the village that I grew up in. I know that sounds super British to anybody that's watching this that's American, but I know that sounds super British to anybody that's American that's watching this or from anywhere else, but yeah, that's how it is. So I took a different route home, and I went through the village, and I went into the estate agents, spoke to them about the house. I really want to look at it. We went and looked at it. Ironically enough, as I was turning into the lane that house was on, I saw the house that I'm in now. And I just said to myself, I fucking want that house. And then 2 years and a month later, I moved into it. Um, so the progression from the little apartment to 5-bed, 5-bath, detached was really, really quick. But that's the way that life works. When you get your focus, when you get disciplined, when you regulate your emotions incredibly well and you remain logic, you focus on your objective reality far more than you do on your imagined reality or on anything else. Life literally transforms. And that was it. We moved into the 4-bed, had an amazing 2 years there, absolutely incredible. And then moved to where we are now, which is just better still. It's just, life's just gotten even better. Because yeah, it's when you're going through things like a divorce, when you're going through struggling to find somewhere to live, you're going through a custody battle. These are all like what are said to be the most stressful, the hardest things to actually go through in life. And going through any level of stress in life is made infinitely easier by having a purpose, by knowing what your identity is, by having something to drive towards, because it prevents you from feeling like you're just drifting. It's what I refer to as identity purgatory, when you're really not sure of who you are, of what your purpose is, of what you're going to do next, of what's happening right now. You're just kind of floating. You're either emotionally reactive or you're emotionally numb. You second guess every decision that you go to make, whether it's a life decision or whether it's what you're going to eat for fucking dinner. When you don't have a secure identity, nothing in life feels secure. And that's why I am now so obsessed with it. That's why I have a school community called Identity Alchemy. That is centered around the whole thing about how to understand where you are now and what to do next so that you can complete the transition and go from being in purgatory, being in no man's land between your old identity and your new identity, actually completing that transition. Because a lot of people think when you shift identities, you go, this is my current identity, and this is my new one. But what actually happens is, if you imagine your identity is a glass orb, and that orb is full of light, and that light is you, that is your essence, that is who you are. When you reach that point in your life when life just doesn't feel comfortable anymore, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel like you belong in it, and you start to transition, so your light starts to bleed over to the new orb, but it makes contact with it, but it doesn't just travel across. What actually ends up happening is the majority of you ends up in the shapeless space in the middle. And that's where all that uncertainty comes from, where you don't know what to do, you don't know what decisions to make, you don't know whether to go this way, that way, you don't know what's right, you don't know what's wrong. And it's overwhelming and it's really turbulent. I'm dedicating myself to make sure that I can help as many people as possible go from that discomfort, that purgatory in the middle, where you don't know, to shuttle you into that new identity, with the reinforcement that once you've formed a new identity, that doesn't need to remain your identity for years and years and years to come. We constantly evolve psychologically, mentally, emotionally. So if you do make a decision and you move into a new identity and that identity doesn't work for you for whatever reason, then you continue changing, you transition again. But once you've got the tools to know how to do that, the overwhelm, the fear, the scarcity, the overwhelm, the numbness, the reactivity that you can experience in purgatory, you miss so much of it. You mitigate the majority of it. So that's kind of my focus. I do that with one-on-one coaching, but I also do it within the community, because not everybody can afford my one-on-one coaching. It is expensive. So I wanted to make sure that I was helping as many people as possible by making something available that made me available to them. And I've actually just made a huge change to my one-on-one service so that it liberates a lot of time so that I can dedicate a lot more time to identity alchemy. So yeah, that's kind of the story, a very, very quick version of the story, just to kind of let you know what it is that has brought me to where I am now, why I'm making this video. And as far as what's next, I'm just going to keep living my life as I have, which has been to ensure that I can provide the best quality of life for my children, for Beth, and help as many people as I possibly can along the way. Those are the most important things to me. Those are my obsessions. And YouTube is now part of that obsession. This is now going to be used to facilitate helping more people. Some people over time will migrate over, will join Identity Alchemy. Some people may even become a one-on-one client. A lot of you will become neither. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make this as valuable as possible for the people that find my channel, subscribe, and regularly consume my content. And I suppose doing this episode, this kind of introductory episode, and going through my story and things like that, it feels uncomfortable because I don't like making things about me. My focus is always on other people. It's always on my children. It's always on my partner. It's always on my parents. It's always on my clients. It's always on people that I am yet to meet, followers, subscribers, etc. So yeah, it's been a bit uncomfortable doing this video, but not because it's like, oh, I'm nervous. Oh, I'm making a YouTube video. I don't care. I've been making content for well over a decade. This is a comfortable setting. It's a comfortable thing to do. It's just an uncomfortable thing to talk about. Maybe in the future I will go into more detail. I will go into the darker times, because there were a lot of them. Certainly through the divorce, the custody battle, the struggles with the business, financial struggles, etc. But I don't think this video needs to be pussy, woe is me. Oh, sad little violin. I had hard times. It's life. Everybody has hard times. I just want to make sure that I can help people get through theirs. So, yeah, that's it. First video done. See you in the next one.